Are you wanting high-speed internet but don't have access to PUD fiber? Try Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet from LocalTel. Call 888-8888 today.
Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And what a gorgeous day. A great way to end our first day of winter, wasn't it? We're still seeing a few clouds out there and a few scattered showers off in the distance as we look down from our Sky-Fi tower cam. And lots of sunshine this afternoon, though, with temperatures in the middle to even upper 50s. And you know what tomorrow is? That's right, the first day of spring. And look at the forecast around at least eastern Washington and into parts of Idaho. Omak 52, we will see 54, maybe even warmer than that for us. Spokane at around 51 degrees. But things are changing, and we'll tell you more about that coming up a little bit later on in our weather forecast. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. Fire districts have found themselves busy with a number of brush fires recently. Does that mean a busy fire season ahead? And this Wednesday night, the NCW Life Channel will host a town hall at Wenatchee High School to discuss the proposed $120 million bond to repair and improve the high school. But first, we begin tonight. Tragedy apparently struck twofold to a family in Brewster Sunday morning as a 19-year-old son allegedly shot his mother, then turned the gun on himself. According to Okanagan County Sheriff Frank Rogers, sheriff deputies and Brewster police responded to a call at 502 North Star Road in Brewster at 10 o'clock Sunday morning with a report of a 19-year-old with a gun. As deputies responded, a second call came into dispatch reporting that a female had been shot.
I think for most of it, it's just surreal. I mean, bad things happen, but God's sakes, nobody shoots your mom. None of it makes sense. Apparently, the son was acting a little bit strange. We don't know what for or why. And then on Sunday morning, apparently something happened, and he went and got a gun in the house. And somebody from the house actually sent a text to an aunt in Texas and said, you know, he's got a gun, he's threatening everybody. So she called 911. We started responding, and as we're responding, somewhere in there, he ended up shooting his mom and hitting her in the mouth area. And the 10-year-old daughter, she's in there, she sees the whole thing, but mom grabs the daughter. They run to a neighbor's house, and the neighbor calls 911. You know, of course, now the deputies are advised there's been a female shot, so now the things escalate, and Chelan is coming. And then we actually got a third call saying they believe the suspect now may have just shot himself, and so it was all fast, quick, and then when they got there, they entered the house just to make sure, and that's when they found him.
Sheriff Rogers said 19-year-old Mike Aguiar Bobadilla was transported to Three Rivers Hospital where he died from his wounds. The mother, Ernestia Aguiar Bobadilla, was also transported to the hospital and then airlifted to Sacred Heart in Spokane. Her latest condition is listed in serious condition. The 10-year-old daughter witnessed the shooting but was not physically injured in the incident. Sheriff Rogers says the family is well known in the community and the whole ordeal has sent shockwaves throughout Brewster.
My wife works at the Okanagan school, and a lot of the teachers there know the kids and know the family. Mom worked down at the hospital there at Three Rivers, so she's, you know, like I said, everybody knows them, and so there will be a lot of support.
The 10-year-old girl is being taken care of by family members. Sheriff Rogers says the case is still under investigation. Well, it was a busy weekend for the Sheriff's Department in Okanagan County. Sheriff Rogers informs us his deputies were also called out to reports of a drive-by shooting at the Blue Mountain Hotel and Trailer Park Saturday night around 10 o'clock.
We got reports of shots fired down there. When deputies arrived, there was a group of folks standing outside Trailer 25. They basically said they heard some shooting, which they believed to be shooting. The one guy said he went outside and he saw like a gray or dark colored sedan. He saw the vehicle, guy pointed a gun, and he saw the gun go off, and then it sped away. When we got there, nobody had been hurt. There was a Honda sitting out front. It had several bullet holes in it. There were some other rounds into a brick kind of facade near the trailer. But we couldn't find any into the trailer, just the car and the wall, and nobody got hit. And right now we don't know. We have no other information, so we're just looking kind of for this rig.
Sheriff Rogers says that area is well known by local law enforcement as a spot for trouble. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Okanagan County Sheriff's Department. Well, with the arrival of spring comes spring cleaning and spring burning. Over the last few weeks of sunshine, fire districts have found themselves busy with a number of brush fires that got out of control in dry fuels throughout the region.
There's been multiple brush fires that have been occurring, and it's usually just from people that are doing their controlled fires and they get out of control. A gust of wind, and people just don't realize how dry all the fuels are right now. And so, yeah, we've had multiple brush fires. The one on Saturday was approximately 50 acres over in East Wenatchee and closed down Fancher Heights for a while. And then we've had a couple of them up over in Sleepy Hollow. There's a lot of them that have been happening. And it's usually in this lower elevation where the fuels have all dried out and they're light, flashy fuels and, are prime for carrying the fire.
Burnett says whether you're burning backyard waste like branches and leaves or you're an orchardist preparing for a land cleaning burn, it's important to call your local fire district.
So there's a couple of different regulations that govern fire. So there's backyard burning, and as long as you're outside of the urban growth boundary and city limits, then you're allowed to do backyard burning. And the piles need to be kept small, like 3 feet by 3 feet. And you need to be there with monitoring the fire, have a means of being able to put it out, shovel, water, that type of thing. And that's what you see a lot of these small smokes around the valley. Just people doing backyard burning. The other fires that tend to, get a little bit more out of control quicker are the larger fires where they're burning debris, either whether it's, orchard prunings or something where they've done some land clearing, and they're larger fires. They've just been waiting to burn those big piles. And, the embers go up and before they know it, it's gotten out of control. Yeah, call your local fire department. There's different fire districts within Chelan and Douglas County, and call the local fire department and ask if it's okay to be burning that day. We look at things like wind conditions and forecasted, fire behavior. Remember that just a little bit of wind, 5 miles an hour, is all the fire on Saturday had on it, and you'd have a little gust come up and it would blow right across the line that the firefighters had been working on. It doesn't take much, and so you have to stay vigilant, stay on top of it, make sure that your fire does not get outside of its contained area.
Representative Dan Newhouse joined 2 others in an urgent request last week to Secretary of Energy Rick Perry, calling for help to pause a court-mandated spill order that is scheduled to begin this April. Newhouse says the bill could cost Pacific Northwest ratepayers $40 million in increased rates this year alone.
Right now, there is a single federal judge that is forcing additional spill at our dams. That decision overrides a comprehensive biological opinion that was agreed to by scientists and engineers at federal agencies, by Northwest tribes, by local and state governments or regional experts and stakeholders. I've got proposed language alongside with my colleagues, Representatives McMorris Rogers and Herrera Butler, for the appropriations bill for fiscal year 18 to prevent this additional spill. And if we are able to do that, we will save Pacific Northwest ratepayers in just 1 year $40 million in increased utility rates. So as I know you're a strong proponent of renewable hydroelectric power, Mr. Secretary, would you commit to working with me to prevent this forced additional spill, save our dams, which are a vital component to our way of life in the Pacific Northwest?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
The three representatives also sent a letter to U.S. Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell, urging them to act on what Newhouse calls a reckless order for forced additional spill. Coming up next, the Wenatchee School Board will hold a school safety workshop tonight at their district office, and a Kashmir woman involved in an accident back in late February is hoping to find the Good Samaritan that she says probably saved her life. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shaman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Make your dream of building your own home a reality today. Bay Equity Home Loans has teamed up with Real Homes to make building your new home a smooth process. Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee offers new construction loans, FHA 3.5% down, and VA 100% construction loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome back. In other news, this Wednesday night, the NCW Life Channel will host a town hall at Wenatchee High School to discuss the proposed $120 million bond to repair and improve the high school. This week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Dan Kuntz, guests from the district, including students, teachers, and administrators, will talk logistics and current conditions on campus. This morning, 2 high school teachers shared their thoughts on working conditions in the classroom.
I think we have to invest in our future. If we're looking at our kids, the ones that we would hope that would be running our community in the future, be leaders, we've got to help provide things for them. And I think when people look at the outside of the school, the structure, they think, oh, it's beautiful. Give me a break. What would we need to do? But I mean, please come in and see what the facilities truly are like inside. It's definitely not what it looks like on the outside. Our entrance is gorgeous, but you come all the way into our classrooms, you'll see it is not as it appears on the outside. But I think we do have to invest in our future. And I know that once my kids are gone, I want to do that. I think that's the great thing about our community. If we can continue to support our schools, I think that we're going to see great leaders emerge.
The town hall starts at 7 p.m. in Wenatchee High School's large group instruction room and will also be broadcast live right here on NCW Life and the NCW Life Facebook page. Do you have a specific question about the bond you'd like to ask the district? Well, you can submit your questions via email at news@ncwlife.com or directly through social media. Questions can also be submitted directly to the Facebook live stream during the broadcast. In other news from the Wenatchee School District, the Wenatchee School Board will hold a school safety workshop tonight at their district office. The workshop follows on the heels of the nationwide student walkout last week to honor those lost in the recent school shooting in Florida. The workshop will run from 5 to 7 o'clock tonight, and the public is invited to attend. Well, a Kashmir woman involved in an accident back in late February is hoping to find the Good Samaritan that she says probably saved her life. Vanessa Ingham was traveling south on Highway 97A 4 miles north of Eniat on February 22nd when she attempted to enter a corner, lost control of her car, rotated sideways, went off the highway and down an embankment, finally landing partially in the Columbia River. After spending the entire night in her car and with serious injuries, another driver at the scene transported Ingham to Central Washington Hospital. Ingham tells us her harrowing story.
Crashed sometime between 8:30 and 9 p.m. on Thursday night, the 22nd. It was freezing cold, and I don't know, I just decided that, I needed to get out of that car, because nobody could hear me honking the horn and whatnot. I climbed out of the car and up out to the road. Somebody finally stopped. A few people drove past. All I know is the guy's name was Steven, and he was in I believe it was a white truck, and it was 5:15 Friday morning when he stopped and I got into the truck. He insisted that I drink a hot cup of coffee that he said he had just bought to help me to start getting warm. Then he drove me to Central Washington Hospital, and, I could have died out there, if he hadn't have picked me up and taken me to the hospital. I probably would have died. I had hypothermia, broken collarbone, clavicle, and I had a severely lacerated forearm, so I definitely would have died if he hadn't have picked me up and taken me in.
Ingham also says that after taking her to the hospital, the Good Samaritan then drove to Ingham's work in Kashmir to inform them that she was in an accident. Ingham hopes someone in the area knows of a Steve who drives a white pickup so he can be identified and properly thanked for his heroic efforts. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Lake Chelan mailboxes find solutions and the best price for all your shipping needs, including UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service. We offer a variety of services including quality copies of all sizes, faxing, scanning, sending and receiving email, laminating, and notarizing. Enjoy browsing through our large selection of greeting cards. Lake Chelan mailboxes supports our military, fire victims, and our community. Come see us at the Plaza in Lake Chelan.
Thursday night, hockey night on the NCW Life Channel. It all begins at 7 o'clock with a call of the Wild and Clarkie's Corner. Then it's non-stop hockey action with a voice of the Wild, Arch Ecker. Join us as the Wild battle the rest of the BCHL. Thursday night is hockey night on the NCW Life Channel.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life Channel.
And a happy Monday. We begin our look at sports by turning back the clock to Friday on the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard. In high school soccer, both Eastmont and Wenatchee were on the short side in their matches Friday night. Wildcats fell at home in a non-league tilt to Gonzaga Prep 1-0. The Panthers found tough sledding on the road, falling to Sunnyside 1-0. Saturday, Cascade traveled to Kings and dropped a non-league affair, also 1-0. Turning to baseball, Wenatchee shut out by Sumner at Rec Park Friday 5-0. On Saturday, the Panthers also found themselves unable to score a run, falling to Richland 12-0. Eastmont was at home at Dan White Field Saturday, downing Sumner in the opener of its non-league doubleheader 5-4, then falling to Richland in the nightcap 13-0. Kashmir and Natchez Valley split a twin bill, while Chelan and Okanagan also halved a doubleheader. Cascade down LaSalle 13-9, and Manson and Lake Roosevelt split their doubleheader. As the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard continues, in girls fast pitch on softball Friday, Waterville-Mansfield traveled to Soap Lake and swept two games, both by the same score of 16-1. Linden Christian swung through the area over the weekend, beat Cascade Friday 12-2, and then Chelan Saturday 23-6. Also Saturday, Eastmont fell to Curtis 7-4. Highlander Golf Course on Friday, the place for the Wenatchee Valley Girls Golf Championship. Wenatchee took third in the large school division, while Ephrata was first, Chelan third in the small school category. In tennis, Wenatchee won the first ever 16 North Central Washington invite at the Rack at Eastmont Junior High at their tennis courts there. Wenatchee Wild hoping home ice will help ease the pain by after getting swept over the weekend in Vernon in the first two games of their second round playoff series. Wenatchee dropped the opener Friday 7-1 and then came up short in game two Saturday by a final of 3-1. For the second straight game, the Wild found itself playing catch up after Vernon scored two goals in the opening frame to lead 2-0 at the break. A.J. Vanderbeck, that is, cut the lead in half with a goal at 1:55 into the second. But even though Wenatchee outshot the Vipers 35-28, they could not find the back of the net again on the night. Game 3 is tomorrow night at the Town Toyota Center. The puck will drop at 7:05. Coming up on the NCW Life Sports broadcast schedule for this week, it'll begin tomorrow in the Apple Bowl, where Wenatchee hosts West Valley in boys soccer. That kicks off at 7 o'clock. I'll be in the booth along with Matt Wiesen on your play-by-play. And then Thursday, we'll bring you Game 1 of the Wild and Vernon from up in Vernon in their second-round playoff series on our hockey night Thursday night. We'll bring you our first baseball game of the season Friday when Eastmont hosts Eisenhower. We'll pick up on the second game of the doubleheader at 6 o'clock or thereabouts. Then on Saturday, there'll be more lacrosse as Wenatchee Valley Thunder host Hermiston at 1 o'clock. Gonzaga reached the Sweet 16 Saturday in the NCAA tournament. The Bulldogs overcame quite a comeback by Ohio State in the second half behind the 28 points of Zach Novell Jr. and 25 from Rui Hichimura to pull out to 90-84 win. Gonzaga will face Florida State at 6:59 p.m. to be exact, Thursday in the next round of Sweet 16. That'll be on CBS. Speaking of Sweet 16, let's take a look at that big dance. We see what a mess everyone's brackets have become. Only 2 number 1 seeds remaining in Kansas and Villanova. There are 2 11 seeds whose Cinderella story still alive. Loyola, Chicago, and Syracuse. Florida State and Kansas State are 2 9 seeds still alive. They'll pick back up with 4 games on Thursday and 4 on Friday as March Madness continues. Washington Huskies continue the NIT tournament tonight. They'll play at St. Mary's. They'll tip it up at 8 o'clock on ESPNU. And finally, Seattle Mariners fell yesterday in a large fashion to Cleveland 16-3. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Well, it was a fine day for a parade Saturday, so why not have several? NCW Life photographer Jay Seebeck was out and about capturing the sights and sounds of Royal Hibernians. NCW Life's Eric Grandstrom tells us more.
St. Patrick's Day brought out the best of North Central Washington on what may have been the best day of the spring so far. The city of Chelan kicked off the holiday with their first-year event, Taste of the Irish. Downtown Chelan was a sea of green at noon when the celebration kicked off with a dog parade, followed by a whiskey and beer tasting party downtown. Later in the evening, Wenatchee threw its 37th annual World's Shortest St. Patrick's Day Parade celebration. The parade route, just 1 block long, started on the corner of Orondo and Mission, making its way down to Wenatchee Avenue. Just so happens that Wenatchee's popular Irish pub, McGlynn's, was right there in the middle of the parade route. Led by the mayor of Wenatchee, Frank Kuntz, folks in Wenatchee got to enjoy the short parade and see the first parade waves from this year's Apple Blossom royalty.
Princess Sophie, Wenatchee Eagles Chapter 204.
So St. Patty's Day on parade in North Central Washington. With NCW Life News, I'm Eric Grandstrom.
Thank you, Eric. We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of our top stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X4 offers 4 times the proven off-road capability, 4 times the comfort, and 4 times the confidence to deliver 4 times the excitement on your next outdoor adventure.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
And now a recap of our top story tonight. Tragedy apparently struck twofold to a family in Brewster Sunday morning as a 19-year-old son allegedly shot his mother, then turned the gun on himself. According to Okanagan County Sheriff Frank Rogers, sheriff's deputies and Brewster police responded to a call at 502 North Star Road in Brewster at 10 o'clock Sunday morning with a report of a 19-year-old with a gun. As deputies responded, a second call came into dispatch reporting that a female had been shot.
I think for most of it, it's just surreal. I mean, bad things happen, but God's sakes, nobody shoots your mom. None of it makes sense. Apparently, the son was acting a little bit strange. We don't know what for or why. And then on Sunday morning, apparently something happened, and he went and got a gun in the house, and somebody from the house actually sent a text to an aunt in Texas and said, he's got a gun, he's threatening everybody. So she called 911. We started responding, and as we're responding, somewhere in there, he ended up shooting his mom and hitting her in the mouth area. And the 10-year-old daughter, she's in there, she sees the whole thing, but mom grabs the daughter. They run to a neighbor's house, and the neighbor calls 911. Of course, now the deputies are advised there's been a female shot, so now the things escalate, and Chelan is coming. And then we actually got a third call saying they believe the suspect now may have just shot himself, and so it was all fast, quick, and then when they got there, they entered the house just to make sure, and that's when they found him.
Sheriff Rogers said it appears that 19-year-old Mike Aguiar Bobadilla was transported to Three Rivers Hospital where he died from his wounds. The mother, Ernestia Aguiar Bobadilla, was also transported to the hospital and then airlifted to Sacred Heart in Spokane. She is listed in serious condition today. The 10-year-old daughter witnessed the shooting but was not physically injured in the incident. Sheriff Rogers says the family is well known in the community and the whole ordeal has sent shockwaves throughout Brewster.
My wife works at the Okanagan School, and a lot of the teachers there know the kids and know the family. Mom worked down at the hospital there at Three Rivers, so she's, like I said, everybody knows them, and so there will be a lot of support.
The 10-year-old girl is being taken care of by family members, and Sheriff Rogers says the case is still under investigation. Time now for a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast on this, our final day of winter. And let's take a quick look outside our weather window before we get to the details of your forecast. And look at that beautiful shot from across camera. Blue sky out there looking down at the beautiful Wenatchee Valley, where temperatures today climbed into the middle and upper 50s, so it was a nice one. And as I mentioned, our final day of winter featured sunny skies, dry conditions, and continued mild temperatures as an area of high pressure remains in place. Tuesday will also be a dry day, the driest of the forecast as we sit in between weather systems. Wednesday through Friday night, though, an upper-level trough with an associated closed low will drop south out of the British Columbia coastline. That'll be Wednesday and put the region in an increasingly moist southwest flow aloft. The wettest period appears to be Wednesday night into Thursday as the cold front tracks from west to east through north central Washington. Most of the precip will fall along and ahead of the cold front, showing the highest precipitation totals from this storm in the Methow Valley, Lake Chelan, and surrounding mountains, where we could see 1 to 1.5 inches of liquid precipitation. A strong cold front passes through then Thursday that will cool us down somewhat, and we will see some clouds on Saturday, but clearing skies on Sunday. Let's take a look at that forecast now. And tonight we'll drop down to 34 degrees, a beautiful 57 for your Tuesday. And then the clouds roll in on Wednesday. We'll see a 30% chance of showers early, 70% chance by late in the day on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, once again, a 70% chance of rain and 54, 51 Friday, 52 Saturday. And things look nice as we end the weekend with mostly sunny skies and 54 degrees. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. Remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.